What is up, everyone? It's Chace and Christian back here, Titletown Podcast. We're gonna do a quick little Sunday treat for the little I'm rambling. Excuse me. About Pat's running back situations. Obviously, we just got Sony and Michelle back, so we're gonna give our opinions on how the standing should look. So before we start, Christian's great to have you back here, of course, always. Yep. And the other thing is, Oh, you love being here. So you broke up a little bit. He loves being here, everyone. But the other one is our sponsor, of course, at Patriots _Nation, 2 underscores following that. Great guy. Always throws our videos up on his page, so make sure you see that. And, of course, we have a new Instagram coming out. It's out. I will throw it at the end. We'll talk about it. Christian runs it. He'll give a little talk about that at the end. But, yeah, let's dive right into it. So, Christian, we got Michelle, Harris, Burkhead, White, and J.J. Taylor. Right now, there's 5, and I'm probably missing one. I don't know how I'd be missing one. We got 5 guys right there that all have carries this season. Taylor has, I think he's like 3. I think he's averaging something like 6 yards a carry, something nuts like that. Mm-hmm. But and then we're getting Michelle back, who's been the lead back. But I would say, and I think most of the Pats fans would agree with me, he is not who you want as your lead back. Then you got Damian Harris, who is a stud. It's the only way you can describe him. He's a stud. He's a high octane kind of guy. Comes in, pedal to the metal. McDaniels loves him. He always says he finds a hole. He's a downhill runner, and he is what I would say a lead back should look like. And then you got Burkhead and White. And my thing is White's the receiving back. He has been a receiving back his whole career. And, he'll get a carry here and there, try and fool the defense. Rarely does. But you still love James White. And you got Burkhead, who's that white Swiss Army knife the Pats always have in the backfield. And he can do the best of both worlds. He's just throwing his body everywhere. Yep. He's always diving. He's always taking the big hits. He can catch the ball pretty well. And, he's the kind of guy, you give him the ball, you don't hate it. You don't hate it. You don't love it, in my opinion. But, yeah, so, Christian, as a neutral viewer seeing the backfield, let me see what you would put the rankings and how you would send them into game day.
So, after watching games, I kind of thought, I see Damian Harris play, and I say, this kid can run. This kid can run the ball. He makes a good 5-yard run, and then he can maybe rip a 20-yard run out of nowhere. And then I see Burkhead play. He randomly catches a touchdown. He randomly runs for a touchdown. All of a sudden, he has 2 touchdowns, about 70 yards. It makes no sense. But he sneaky racks up stats. And then I look at James White. The stats there aren't there for him. Obviously, they've gone to Harris and Burkhead more over the past few games. But White is good to have. He's not a super large hit on the cap, so he's not taking money away from anyone. So good to have there. But also, I don't know much about J.J. Taylor. I don't think he should be in the conversation because Harris and Burkhead.
Yeah, he's just an undrafted free agent. But when we were low on thing, he's 5'5". Dude's tiny.
All right.
You give him the ball, he's like Tyreek. He's better than Tyreek Cohen in my opinion. But you give him the ball, and he would just he would get pitches and just boom, he's got like 15 yards like that. It's like, who is this guy? Like, who let this little kid in the field? Yeah, continue.
Yeah, so I think with Michelle coming back, it's going to be hard for this duo to keep going because they're going to want to go to Michelle. But in my opinion, they should stick with working with Harris. Harris, over the past 3 games, has 100 yards in 2 of them, which is not heard of ever out of a Patriots running back since, like, maybe Danny Woodhead.
Always running back committee.
Yeah, it's always been a committee. It's never been one person leading the way. And Harris is becoming the person, like, I want this to be my show. I want to take over. And it's great to see out of a young guy. But Burkhead, the veteran, is saying, not so fast. That's not how we roll here in New England. We like to keep a white player on the field at all times. So exactly. I'll be in the back. I'll be going. I'll always be there. You'll never get rid of me. And I'll get your touchdowns because you can bring me down the field, but I'll get your touchdown because Harris, believe it or not, only has 1 touchdown. Burkhead has 6 combined with rushing and receiving. So you look at Harris, he didn't play the first 3 games of the year. But over every single game, he's gotten better and better and better, obviously, with him pounding the rock down the Ravens' throat last Monday. But once again, Burkhead had the touchdowns. Burkhead had the stats. So I think them combined is a great duo. I want to see them do something. Is Michelle in his last year of his contract this year?
No, second to last, but he has a 5th-year option that I would very much be surprised if we took.
Yeah, and he's also 25, 26.
No, yeah, he was 23. He's 25.
All right, he's 25. He's an old-ass player on a rookie contract still. So the more – I think they should kind of push him out and bring in Harris, keep Burkhead, and have White come in just as a safety if one of them gets injured. Because what Harris and Burkhead are doing right now, it's giving me flashbacks to the former tandems that they used to have in Harris filling that role for a rusher, because they've always had a receiving back, whether it was Dion Lewis after he left to go to Tennessee. But it's working, and they shouldn't stop it anytime soon. Yeah,
so obviously you're a neutral fan, and you're giving a very unbiased approach, opinion, and like what you think they should do. And I absolutely agree with what you're saying a lot. But so here's where this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to back it up, obviously. So Michelle is back. It's not going to change anything, in my opinion, because what Belichick has done and always will do is he will feed the hot hand. I don't care how much I'm paying you. I don't care what pick you're taking. If you're producing, you are going to get the carries. You are going to do what you can. You're going to keep doing it. So I don't think Michelle's going to get those carries. I don't think he's going to come out here coming off like an injury. Michelle is so injury prone too. I think they're most likely going to keep him as a Swiss Army knife coming off the bench too. So, he's in a very horrible spot because he's getting paid pretty heavily because he's a first-round talent, and he's not producing as much, and he's injury prone. So I think they're going to keep feeding Harris, and they're going to keep feeding Burkhead. And those are our 2 runners. Those are our 2 running backs. White will never, ever lose his spot as a receiving back. Burkhead is the kind of guy – you put Harris in, you're running the ball. You put Burkhead in, 50-50. What's happening? You put White in, it's going to be a pass. And that's a very great arsenal we have. You put White in, or you put Burkhead, you put Harris in, they're averaging 2 yards a carry. It's Michelle time. That's how I think it's going to happen. The thing about Burkhead is he's not a future kind of guy. Last year on his deal, he's 30 or 29. Ooh. He is old.
He's getting up there. He's getting up there.
So you didn't know that. I don't want to chime in and say you're wrong, but because he's old. He's an old guy. We re-signed him, or we didn't cut him this year because he's got 1 year on his deal. He's old. He's not the future. That's the thing. White is still I want to say 2 more years on his deal, and Harris obviously has 3. Nope, 2. And then Michelle's got 1 plus 1, assuming they do it. And Taylor's an undrafted free agent. He's obviously not the future. But I like the future for the running backs. And, you did a very great job describing everything you said. And the thing is, what you said isn't wrong, because what's going to happen is Belichick's going to feed the hot hand. And what the hot hand is Burkhead and Harris. So that's not going to change in the foreseeable future, in my opinion, unless something happens. And I don't hate, and I'm assuming you wouldn't hate, having Sony Michel come as your 3rd guy running, assuming someone gets a little dinged up and you don't want to take away, you don't want to risk his health for the future. So that's just my opinion about the running back committee. That's all I'm going to say today about today's little, Easter egg podcast. But yeah, anything else to add real quick?
No, basically just from a Vikings standpoint, Dalvin Cook is going off recently, so they've been going to him. I think the Patriots got to embody that and just stick with their run game and keep pounding the rock, because that's what's working.
Yeah, and, this is what it comes down to. You and I talked about this when we last weekend, where Newton has 3 passing touchdowns. Like, dozen rushing touchdowns. That's not as bad as it seems because it's all about the play calling. And what's been working for New England is running the ball. So whether Cam Newton be our sixth running back, I don't care. Whatever wins games, and we've been winning the past 2 games, and we beat the Ravens. So, yeah, that's all I want to say. Let's keep this on the shorter end because obviously there's not a lot to talk about. But thank you again, Christian, for joining in. And before I give you your quick sign-off, make sure to follow Patriots_Nation, 2 underscores. He is obviously our sponsor. We are presented by him. We are happy to be presented by him because he's a great account, great guy. And, again, if we were to recommend you follow someone that's going to keep you updated with Patriots news, stats, and it's not related to a podcast, obviously, follow this guy. And, Christian, before you do your sign-off, just give a little sneak peek about what we can expect with this Instagram account that we now have operational, up and running.
Yeah, so just turn on the notifications. I'll post every single time we have a new video up, new episode up. And also I'll be posting maybe some communal posts where have you guys sound off in the comments, get a little debate going, just have conversations about these Boston teams. And I'll also throw in some clips, draw you into the episode so you watch even more because you won't be disappointed.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we're going to do everything we can for you guys because we're here for the fans. But obviously, like and subscribe this video and make sure you follow our Instagram and Twitter. I will throw them on the end of this video. Christian, it's great having you back, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. See you, boys.